Welcome to Red Sox Digest, the only show where pain, sarcasm, and a dash of hope collide nightly like a Trevor Story strikeout. We cover every loss, every meltdown, and yes, even the rare win, with brutally honest takes and zero front office fluff. Subscribe today at RedSoxDigest.com or risk being left out in the cold like a home game in April. And now, here's the crew at Red Sox Digest.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Red Sox Digest Live, where the offense disappears faster than a Fenway beer on a hot night. And the Dodgers just reminded us what a real lineup looks like. I'm your host, Jim Dalfino, and tonight I'm joined by Nick Face, whose takes are so scorching they've been banned in 3 states, yet somehow still colder than the Sox bats after the 3rd inning. Listening to Nick is like watching a balk review. Confusing, dramatic, and probably ending in disappointment. Also with us is Thayer Doyle, whose sarcasm has been officially declared a performance-enhancing substance. His optimism is like a Shohei Ohtani start, rare, hyped, and usually canceled. If vibes were measurable, Thayer would be somewhere between rain delay and Craig Breslow trade deadline presser. The Red Sox are now 55-50 after a 5-2 loss to the Dodgers at Fenway. Bayo gave us 3 innings of I swear I'm better than this, while the bullpen played its usual game of who wants to be a reliever. Meanwhile, Teoscar Hernandez, who was campaigning to play for the Old Town team, launched a 2-run missile in the 8th that had the Red Sox fans reaching for the remote control. Offensively, Boston scored 2 in the 3rd, a Duran RBI single, and a Bregman double. And let's not forget the first extra base hit for Connor Wong. And it's only almost August. After that, full ghost mode. 5 hits total, and that's it. The bats were quieter than a Nick Face compliment. So tonight, we're breaking down the trade rumors, panic meter, and whether Ryan O'Hearn is a solution or just a name Breslow found on LinkedIn. Let's get into it. Thayer, let's start with you. What are your reactions to tonight's heartbreaking loss?
My reactions is that's what you get when you face a true major league lineup. You saw the difference clearly between the two of them. The Dodgers put together excellent at-bats early, worked the pitch count, and were able to get the job done in scoring runs. Bayo pitched pretty well, 5 1/3 innings, 3 runs, but they made him work. The Red Sox made him work in the 1st inning. He threw about 30-something pitches, but they couldn't get the job done. They did score their runs, but again, had an opportunity to add a little bit more and don't. And then, like you said, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One bats just completely disappeared after the 4th inning. And that's the difference. You have a team that is comprised of Major League Baseball players who are going to give you Major League at-bats. And then you have another team that's comprised of rookies, 4A players, platoon players who are going to give you a few good at-bats, but not throughout the entire game.
Nick, same question to you. Your opening reactions and takes to tonight's wonderful loss.
I actually wish I was like the beer and peanut vendors tonight, truthfully, and not have to watch that. That's what I wish. I wish I was on strike with them too. But that was embarrassing again tonight. I mean, you just saw a far superior Major League Baseball team, the Dodgers, more prepared, more focused, more ready to go, and your sleepy, lazy, lethargic Boston Red Sox. That they could have slept through this game. We all could have taken a nice little nap over those last 2.5 hours of watching that. And we probably would have regained a lot more energy than watching this team tonight. Bayo was fine. That's why he's not going to be a number 1 or number 2. You saw that tonight. He was too, I guess, finessed in a way. I'm going to use that word tonight. It was ups and downs. It was trying to figure out what works, trying to wiggle himself out of jams. I give him credit for getting back on track in the 4th and 5th inning. Don't get me wrong. I give him credit for that. I didn't really know the 6th inning. I know Cora gave him 1 batter, and then they went to Chris Murphy. I may have had him extended 1 more inning just to get him through the 6th to see what happens. But let's be real here. I mean, pitching really wasn't the biggest issue here tonight outside of Alcala. Ocala is not in my circle of trust. We've talked about this before. He's not. He's just another one of the Minnesota Twins leftovers that they just didn't have any more room in their bullpen anymore and said, goodbye, we don't want you anymore. He's nothing. He's just another guy. It's the bats again, guys. I mean, if we really want to talk long and hard here, it's what is the offensive approach from this team? I mean, what is it? I mean, is it just home run central all the time? That's how we're going to score our runs? I mean, if you don't score home runs in a game, I feel like you're not going to do anything. And that is just not a recipe for success. I'm getting so fed up and I'm so tired of the Pete Fatsi launch ball. It is killing this team left and right. It's been 3+ years of this crap mentality of whatever they've adopted with launch angle and let's see how high and far the ball can get out. Well, when you can also not hit the ball consistently, who the hell cares? That's how I feel on the matter with it. This is going to be, after I saw it tonight, I actually was semi-confident the other night that we did our show. Was it Wednesday night? And I said, well, Friday could be a win. Might be looking good on Saturday. Now I'm kind of questioning the rest of the series. I don't know about you, but that's how I'm feeling tonight.
Yeah, I'm not very happy with tonight's outcome. I mean, obviously, it was one of the games that I thought they would win. I thought that perhaps they could rail their starter a little bit, Sheehan. And, he did have a really tough first inning, a lot of pitches. But again, just like typical Red Sox, they put runners on and they can't advance them and can't score. So, it's one of their things. And, the bright spot that I took from that was the fact that, all right, well, at least they, kind of ran up his pitch count. Problem is he kind of settled in after that. 78 total pitches, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. But to your point, Nick, one of the things that really just irks me about this Red Sox team is the fact that they can't put the ball in play and it's all home run or nothing. 8 more strikeouts tonight. I know they didn't reach their quota of 10, but you know what? I mean, we've been getting 16 and 15 and whatever it may be. And I mean, it's just too many outs that you're making that you're not putting the ball in play. And as a result of that, you're taking yourselves out of too many innings. I mean, just alone, you've got Toro was 0 for 2, Ref Schneider 0 for 2, Rafaela 0 for 4. Let's see, Roman Anthony was 0 for 3. It's just too many 0-fers, and that's what's going to kill us. And until that Teoscar Hernandez home run, I mean, we were looking at the fact that it all came apart with, Bayo giving up the bases loaded walk. I mean, I know the hit after that was the winning RBI, but you get my point. You can't walk runners in, and we've seen a lot of that this season. I don't know why we're having so many outings where we're getting our pitching staff to walk in runs. I don't think I'd like to find a stat on that for this season because I think it's probably an astronomical number and probably more than we've probably seen in the last 3 years combined, if I had to take an educated guess. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous what's going on. So again, as I've said just about every night over the last couple weeks, just another proof in the pudding that you need to get another starter that you can rely upon. And we'll talk about that as we go along today. The next topic I wanted to talk about was Marcelo Mayer. He was put on the 10-day IL. We still don't know exactly what's going on with him. Some of the comments that were made by Cora were quite alarming, and I want to just go ahead and find that if I can. And I think he was saying something to the fact that we're gathering information, right? And we'll get more over the weekend during the week. Whenever we get to the point to see what's going on, we'll let you know. I come from a medical background and I also have some common sense. Didn't he have an x-ray done? Didn't he have an MRI done? Is this a hamate bone injury? Is it carpal tunnel? What is it? You can't tell me that they have no idea what the hell happened. It seems absolutely ridiculous that you have to wait till next week. Today was Friday. Radiologists work on Fridays. So there's no reason why they couldn't. And they're home. So there's no reason why they couldn't have gone to Beth Israel and gotten an x-ray done on his hand. So it's really, really weird. That being said, I do have concerns now about how the infield and the outfield is going to be made up. And I want to talk about that and get your reactions. Ceddanne Rafaela has now been playing second base, and I just want to kind of let you guys know that as a second baseman, he's been hitting .214 with a .267 on base and a .481 OPS. So my question is the change in position going to affect him offensively? Nick, let's start with you.
We can dial up this podcast from a week ago. I said it point blank. I said, watch out, because you're going to start seeing Ceddanne Rafaela at second base. And I said 100%, watch out, because mentally, this is going to be a tough change for him. He's already shown us that he's had steady consistency in center field. We finally saw the bat starting to come to life with walk-off homers and hit streaks and all this stuff. And now you're putting this pressure on him to move to an unfamiliar territory. That's second base. I don't want to hear fans say, oh, well, he can do it. Oh, he's going to be fine. His position should be center field. I've said this. You guys said it long and hard here on this pod. That's where he should be. But because of the dynamic on how this team is stacked up, you are now going to see Jarren Duran in center field. You're going to see Roman Anthony in left. You're going to see Wilyer Abreu in right. Probably some Rob Refsnyder in right as well to mix and match some things there. You are going to get, and here is the word of the day. I'm going to pretend this is Sesame Street right now. The word of the day here is exposed. That's what you are going to get, because you are not going to get consistent, steady second base play from Rafaela. You're going to see more misplays, worse than David Hamilton's of the world, and worse than Romy Gonzalez. You're going to see a steady decline, because at least Marcelo Meyer was giving you, if you want to even put it out there, a Gold Glove style fielding, whether it was at third base or second base. It's a big loss there defensively. Now, offensively, we talked about this before. Marcelo Meyer, to me, has been a disappointment with the bat ever since he came up. I've had some fans chirp back at me and say, you're ridiculous. It's been a small sample size. Yip, 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 yip. Don't care. Come up to the team, show us what you're supposed to be doing, and get the damn job done. I am so sick and tired of the wussification of this team. If you are going to be a Major League Baseball player, show us you can play. Because I'm all set with the beauty school dropouts, that mentality of this team. I am so sick and tired of it. And I'm sure we're going to get into beauty school dropout 101 Tristan Casas later tonight. But that's for later. The now is. This is not good for the Red Sox. And I am very concerned with the future here if Rafaela is at second base and you have to kind of roll around the merry-go-round here a little bit with what you're going to be doing in the outfield.
Thayer, similar question to you. With Meyer on the IL now, and if Rafaela is going to be our second baseman, how does this translate in your mind to the July 1st trade deadline and the rumors surrounding Jarren Duran? Does this mean nothing, or does it increase the chances of him being traded, or do you think he's off the table now?
I think he's off the table, to be honest with you, if they think they can compete. I don't know if they think they can compete. If they feel that, especially if they happen to, they're going to lose this series most likely, and then moving forward those last couple of days before the deadline, I wouldn't be shocked if the Red Sox front office and the general manager, president, decide to say, yep, you know what, forget it. We're going to sell. We're not worth it this year. Comes down to faulty roster construction that we talked about since the get-go of the season, and now it's coming home to roost. It started with our friend Casas, and they didn't have anyone to fill in because they couldn't get along with Devers. They trade Devers, and they think, let's let the rookies fill in. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. That's not how baseball works. You don't put that kind of pressure on these guys. And Nick, I understand where you're coming from. These kids come up, you want to see them produce, but they are still kids, and they're putting them in situations where they're not ready to do what they're supposed to be doing. They've been called up too soon. So now you're going to move your center fielder, who was probably in contention for Gold Glove, who was finally showing consistency. He said it in an interview, I'm a center fielder. I feel good. This is where I want to be. And now what does the team do? And you go play second base. Why? Because we haven't had a second baseman in years since your boy Pedroia, Nick. So we don't have anyone there. And they're going to platoon the second baseman with Marcelo Meyer, but he can't hit lefties. So maybe we'll put Romy Gonzalez there. And now we have not even that option. So I have a feeling, and Lambert's saying it in the chat, I think they're going to be selling. I wouldn't be shocked if, they sort of pull a full 180 and say, we're not ready yet. Let's sell it. Chapman's gone. Probably Duran goes in that case. And instead of getting major league talent, you're going to be getting minor league talent, which, as we've said, I don't trust Breslow to make good decisions on minor league talent. And we're probably just going to be giving away Duran for you and me and Nick.
Yeah, obviously there was some chatter too about the Red Sox interested in the Dodgers catcher. And I put a post on Twitter. I said, I don't trust the Red Sox making any moves with the Dodgers. Everybody likes to say, oh, the Red Sox fleece this one and Chaim Bloom fleece that one. And they're looking for all these, golden goose eggs that are somehow in plain sight. And every other executive on every other major league team completely missed the boat on player A and player B. It doesn't work that way. And if you guys on Twitter think that they're going to just all of a sudden find David Ortiz's coming out their rear end, it's not going to happen. And Tyler Glasnow's coming out of their rear end. It's not going to happen. Spoiler alert, Tyler Glasnow's a good pitcher. He just can't stay healthy. So maybe the Pirates knew something. You think? In any event, I think personally, my take is the same thing. If they are going to not compete, I actually think they might keep Duran. And if they do trade him, it's going to be for minor league talent, and they're just going to replenish their minor leagues. They're not going to make a major league front line move, a baseball move. I don't see it happening. I'd be shocked at this point, especially with losing tonight, that they're going to go out and try to do whatever they can to convince the Twins to get Ryan, to get Mitch Keller, whatever name you want to put that requires a 26-man roster spot. I don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't. With that being said, though, we did see today, and let me bring this one up. We did see today that the Padres offered a Dylan Cease package for Jarren Duran, and it also included the Padres' number 2 prospect and Ethan Salas. And I think there was a third guy that was supposed to be involved, and it wasn't their number 1 prospect. Thayer, take us through what you've heard or read on that. And I know you've kind of touched on it, but the Red Sox said no. Why did they say no?
They said no because they're incompetent? No. I don't know why they said no. My guess is they don't want to trade Duran for someone they are going to consider a rental. And that's what they feel Cease is. I think they want to offer up Duran for something that they feel that they can have for multiple years. However, I don't think Duran is capable of getting you a pitcher of that caliber all by himself. And with the Padres prospects, we've seen in the past, the Padres have, they traded Gore. He was something of use in their system, but a lot of what the Padres have sent out the last couple of years hasn't really been all that impressive. And they've spent a lot of money and they've spent a lot of their capital in draft, in prospects and deals already. So their system, I don't think, has all the best, to the point where, it's their number 2 prospect. It may not mean an awful lot.
Very good point. They've been trading a lot over the past 3 or 4 seasons, and God knows that they're scraping the bottom of the peanut butter jar. Nick, your reaction is the same question and I think you were the one that posted it first, Nick, on the Padres offer with Cease and Duran.
I would do it right now. Right now. I've had it with Jarren Duran. I've had it. I don't care if he is a clubhouse cheerleader, if he puts the Wally mask on, if he hugs his teammates good, if he high-fives the girl who fields the ball down the right field. I don't care. We have seen enough to know that last year was an anomaly. It was. I personally don't think we are going to see the all-star Jarren Duran again in a Red Sox uniform. I'm going to say it right now. I think what you saw last season was historic for him. Wonderful. I give him all the credit in the world. Great season you had last season. But this is 2025, and this is a results business. And the results right now have shown me that I have no confidence with Jarren Duran as a continued member of this Red Sox team. He could be the nicest dude. He could be the greatest teammate. He could be all of it. I am strictly looking at this as a results thing. I don't care if this breaks the hearts of the entire clubhouse. If Red Sox fans are going to come to Fenway Theater crying their eyes out, go get them a box of tissues. They'll be fine. Go get me somebody that can go out and get the job done consistently. And I have to look at a guy like a Dylan Cease as a guy that at least can give me something of that. Now, the big holdup here, of course, is going to be the whole rental. If this deal was to get done, there would need to be some sort of an extension or an agreement that was put in play. So I can kind of understand the Red Sox stance on this, but work harder. Craig Breslow went to Yale, right? He's supposed to have this best brain and the smartest guy in the room. Well, the Boston Red Sox are a bunch of stupid idiots. That's what they are. So figure it out.
One of the things that I look for in trades, and you may want to look at, a lot of people are going to look at the trade market as what you need to improve the team down the stretch. I'm also looking at the idea and the opportunity to have the wherewithal to worry about the years down the road. I know Dylan Cease. I know he is a free agent, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean that you can't, like to Nick's point, go ahead and try to extend him. And I think you want to try to be able to move pieces that you have in excess, our outfield, for pieces that you need, starting pitching. And if you get someone like him, it doesn't mean that you can't try to negotiate and get an extension. It also doesn't mean that you can't take someone else on your roster. Dick Fitz, I know Dobbins is hurt, but you could have those extra starters available to now go ahead and make a different type of trade and maybe use those pitchers in a move to acquire something else. So, this can be a domino effect in a positive way. So I'm not opposed to the quote unquote rental situation that a Dylan Cease would create. Because if you want to go ahead and get creative, to Nick's point, try to get him onto an extension. We don't know if he doesn't not want to be here or not. But here's the thing. Whether it's Joe Ryan, Dylan Cease, whatever it might be, if you can get someone under team control, you stay out of the free agent market. And if anybody that is listening to this podcast has looked at what the free agent class looks like for this offseason, the pitching market is not very good. So, which brings me to my next point, and that is Sandy Alcantara or Alcantara, however you want to pronounce his name. There was a baseball player for the Red Sox named Izzy Alcantara many, many years ago. He was a guy that in the minor leagues gave a sidekick to the catcher. You can look that up on Twitter. It was one of the funniest things Thayer and I share often. So I always call him Alcantara. But there was some rumors today that the Red Sox were talking to the Marlins. No players were actually exchanged from the rumors that I read. So we don't know what names were involved. But it is showing that he has his bags packed. Thayer, start off with you. Earlier in the year, Alcantara was not having a very good season. He's turned it around. What do you think about him? And he is under team control for a couple more seasons, I believe.
He's the perfect Red Sox because he's coming off an injury. He's a guy that's going to be up and down. He is someone who at one time showed incredible potential, but hasn't done it in the last year and a half since the injury. So I think the Red Sox will most likely offer, totally, everybody out in their farm system to get this guy. I wouldn't mind him. I'd take the chance. However, I'm not really all that willing to give up anything of value for him. It's very possible he could be something again, but at the same time, we don't have a good track record of rehabilitating anybody and getting them to pitch successfully in the major leagues. So why is that going to be anything different?
Yeah, Nick, I'm going to offer you the same question, but before I do, I'm just going to parlay in something Thayer said about the track record because I wanted to bring up Patrick Sandoval, and I probably beat you to the punch, Nick. I know I beat you to the punch because I know how you are. So it was talked about today that Patrick Sandoval has been basically shut down. He's been regulated to light catching, something I do with my cat. This, I think, is going to go down in the history books as the next wasted reclamation project. So, Nick, your thoughts and reactions on Alcantara and, Pablo Sandoval's cousin?
I'm just going to bring up our good old buddy, Pablo. I was going to say, how can you be more useless than Pablo Sandoval? Well, take center stage, Patrick Sandoval, because we haven't seen you 3 years, 2 years? How long has it been?
Doesn't matter.
I don't exactly. But this goes back to the point here with the whole rehabilitation, the other word of the night. This team can't do it. I mean, look at what we've got right now with Tanner Houck. They can't even rehab and fix him. They just sent him away. They'll do the same thing with Alcantara. They'll do the same thing. I don't have any faith that if they go and they give them Tolle and they give him Password and they give him anything that they want, that he'll come to Boston, figure it out, stay healthy, and become a stud pitcher to go behind Crochet. I can't tell you that. I can't. It's because the likelihood of that happening with what we've seen here through Groundhog Day 5.0, whatever we're on, it's not likely. It's not likely. You need proven track records here. You need to overpay. You need to figure out whatever it takes to get a stud pitcher here. And if that's the trade market, and if that's, again, right back to Joe Ryan, that's a track record guy. That is one pitcher that I would look at, and I would, like I said with our buddy Nick Diamond, I would put a Marcelo Meyer and everything there. Well, that story's gone because obviously Marcelo Meyer's hurt and everything. But that's an exception to the rule there on figuring out what your opponent has to bring that player here. The Red Sox have to overpay. I can't overstate that enough because of how cheap and pathetic you have been since 2018. That's why. Another name, you have your Nate Eovaldi's, another guy that I might do something to bring to town. That's track records. I can't look at this guy here from the Miami Marlins and say, great, you won the Cy Young in 2023 or 2024?
Say that again. I missed that.
Cy Young was in 2023 or 2024?
For Alcantara?
Yes.
I think it was 23, wasn't it?
I believe it was 23. Now, we're now 2 years down the line with getting hurt. And the other point here, he's had one good start, the one he just came off of. And I'm going to give them everything, as they say on the lovely Deal or No Deal. No deal.
Nick, 2022.
22.
So we're going
2022. Okay. So that's now over 3 years removed. So, yeah, no deal.
I want to do a quick option on a couple things with the rumor mill that's been going on. So this is going to be a 60-second quick one. First one I want to talk about is the Ryan O'Hearn rumors. Is he a better option at first base than anyone else that you know that is possibly available? Thayer, 60 seconds.
No. Left-handed hitter. Again, it's just an added person to the platoon. He's doing well in Baltimore because Baltimore sucks. And he's just the better of the players right now. I don't think he would be anything better than what we've got from the standpoint of we would have to trade valuable commodities to get a minimal improvement.
Nick, Ryan O'Hearn, 60 seconds.
He comes with eye candy.
That didn't even need 60 seconds. Moving right along. Josh Naylor, first name off the board. Was he a fit here for first base with the Red Sox? Nick, your reaction, 60 seconds.
When I saw the deal that went down with Seattle, I kind of was like, that's it. That's all that they gave. So it made me think, why did the Red Sox not entertain something like this? The Abraham Toro story, the Abe Toro thing, it's done. It's done. It's way out the ways right now of me being able to feel confident and comfortable with him being your everyday first baseman against right-handed pitching. So yes, I would have entertained even a Password down in Worcester. I would have, to bring something here that's better than what you got. So that was the biggest takeaway from me is that's all. That's all it took.
Yeah, everybody's talking about how big the ask is for most of these guys, and I think Seattle gave up, relatively nothing at all. Thayer, your reaction, Josh Naylor.
Again, a left-handed bat. The fact that if we traded anything for a left-handed hitting first baseman this year, it's just an imbecilic move. It's stupid. We need a pitcher. We need bullpen help. We need catching depth, and we need a right-handed power bat in this lineup. A left-handed hitting first baseman, okay, great. We fill it in. This year, after we don't make the playoffs, what do we do with that person? He's gone. We've got nothing to show for it. And all we have coming back up is now we have Casas and Naylor sitting on. It's just not something we need to do. We need to address the issues that are far more important to this ball club.
Yeah, and again, Naylor is a rental. He's a free agent at the end of the season. And if I'm going to go out and get a rental, I'm going to go after a pitcher that I think I can maybe sign to a long-term deal, whether that be Dylan Cease or someone of that ilk. Next one, 60 seconds. The New York Yankees acquired Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies. He's owed over $36 million that I think the Yankees are on the hook for. Thayer, your reactions? Does he make them better? He leads the league at 127 strikeouts, or was this a waste of their time?
I think it's probably a waste of their time. Again, a left-handed hitter in Yankee Stadium does help their lineup. He's probably going to be pretty hot as soon as he gets there, but overall, he's a defensive liability for them at third base, and I don't think he's going to really be the difference maker. But I will give this. At least Cashman is going out and being proactive and trying to do something to improve his ball club.
Nick, Ryan McMahon, do you think he scares you in a Yankee uniform?
Here's Ryan. The Yankees were trying to do another cup of coffee with DJ LeMahieu. This is what they were trying to do, guaranteed. But I have more faith in Ed McMahon having a better career with the Yankees than Ryan McMahon doing anything on this journey.
You're right, sir. Here's John.
Our next guest tonight.
Exactly. I want to switch gears a little bit with the chat. One of our watchers and listeners, Lambert, out of the box thinking, what package would we have to give up to get Jared Jones? I know he doesn't help until June of 26, but he's only 23 and could be the next Crochet. I love Jared Jones. I think he is a stud, and I think that he would be available if you could get the right package. So, Thayer, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think it would take to get a guy like Jones?
I would say Tolley would absolutely have to be in there. I think it's possible that Duran could go in this one, if not Duran, Abreu, because the Pirates could use some outfield help, especially at a small number. You probably have to throw in another minor league pitcher, low A ball, double A ball, but probably another, but at the same time, I do like this idea. Again, Jared Jones is someone who's going to be coming off an injury, but he's not a 26, 27, 28-year-old professional who's coming off it. He's still a kid. So he should be able to bounce back from it. I would take the chance with it, despite what I said about the Sox not being able to really rehab and get someone back in it. It's a little different in this situation because it's more of a kid coming off it as opposed to an older veteran player. So I would highly consider this one, especially if we feel that they're not going to make the playoffs this year. Has I forget what year, a Jared Saltalamacchia trade feel to it. When the Red Sox made the trade at the deadline back before, must have been before 2011, 2012, when they got him, it was sort of out of nowhere. When you're getting a backup catcher who had a lot of potential, who had gone to Texas after starting off hot with Atlanta, and they're like, why are we making that move? And then it turns out he becomes a starting player for you for a couple of years and had an impact on that World Series championship. This might be one of those, oh, look at this deal that they don't pay much attention to, and then it does a nice job for you.
I would like Jared Jones. I think the only thing is that I question why the Pirates would want to move a guy that's pre-arbitration eligible. He's not a free agent until 2030, so they've got 5 years of control. Obviously, if he has a great couple seasons when he comes back, Typically the price would go up, but you got to figure if he's going to be back on a major league mound in 26, he's probably not going to be doing too well. So you're already at 27 before he's going to be maybe an impact starter again, which again means he's going to be pre-arbitration eligible. He's going to be arbitration at the end of that 27 season. Probably not going to be really an elevated contract because he's coming off that injury. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of urgency for the Pirates to make that move, especially when they still have, their ace on the mound there. So, they can still try to compete for low dollars. I don't know if they're really ready to compete. If they think Paul Skeens can do it for them and they want to get somebody like a Mayer and a Tolley or something like that, I just don't know if that's going to be something that the Pirates are going to want. Nick, your thoughts on that?
I don't think the Pirates want to make this deal. I think the only way that the Pirates would do this is, number one, if you blow a package out of the water. And I don't even know if the Red Sox have enough to give the Pirates for maybe something that they're looking for. The other thing is the only way that I think the Pirates also would make him available outside of getting blown away on a deal is maybe that there's something medically that they don't love that maybe gets hidden, that they say, oh, take it, have another sucker come and get us. So that's where it goes back to this Alcantara thing and the health and rehab of getting these players back into a rhythm here. I have zero confidence, guys. If anybody's banged up or dinged up or coming back from anything, I can't tell you with a straight face, oh, yeah, they're going to come back and they're going to be awesome. I can't. So that's what scares me on that.
Last thing before we wrap up, I want to just kind of talk about Mr. Happy Feet. He was singing in the rain today and wearing his non-profile good. I can't even make this up. The tweet that came out was that he was walking around in flip-flops. With a medical background, I am going to tell you that coming off a knee surgery, that's the worst thing you could be wearing. Nick, what do you think? 30 seconds, Happy Feet.
I'll be dancing with Happy Feet the day he's gone. I don't want him here anymore. I'm done. I've been done for 3 years. I've never wanted him. I've wanted him gone. I wish he became the Seattle Mariners' problem back in the offseason. I really do. He is a head case, and he is never going to make it here in Boston. I'm sorry. I don't want to shit all over this guy's life, but I'm done. I'm done. Go to Tampa. Go to Pittsburgh. Go somewhere else and become their problem. I'm done.
There are your reactions, Tristan Casas sighting.
Well, at least he's around the ball club. Give him credit there. He hasn't just taken the year off and disappeared like he did last year. But at the same time, it's a tremendous waste of potential, unfortunately. A talented physical player who just, I don't think, is capable of producing in an environment like Boston. I think Nick's right. He's going to go to Tampa Bay. He's going to go somewhere like Minnesota. And the next thing you know, you're going to hear about him sort of having a revival in his career, becoming a serviceable major league ball player, but it's not going to be here in Boston.
I wish Dave Dombrowski was still here because we would be having conversations about here's another trade from a top prospect that didn't amount to anything, and you'd never want that trade back, just like just about every move he ever made for this team. That's unfortunate. Last thing, in closing, Thayer, start with you. Your thoughts about tomorrow, Crochet, Kershaw. What's your reactions to that? Do you think the Red Sox can pull this one out?
I think they have to win this game. If they lose this game, I think the next time there's a conversation about the Red Sox, it's going to be talking about selling Chapman. It's going to be selling Refsnyder. It's going to be, a fire sale to the point where the Red Sox are just tanking it again.
Nick, your reactions for tomorrow's Crochet Kershaw outing?
Is it too early to say this is a must-win game? Because I don't. I think tomorrow is the biggest must-win game of the season. If they lose, and it is a crushing blow, that means that you are going to be a seller. You are. That's what's going to happen. I mean, what are we at for our day? We're on the 25th. You've got 6 days to go till the deadline. If you don't do anything here against the Dodgers, say the Dodgers sweep the Red Sox, put a for sale sign up, because that's what you'll see. And the biggest fear tomorrow night, it's actually not Crochet, it's the offense. They are prone to give up. Say it's a 2-0, 1-0 Dodgers win. Something that pitiful to anger us and to put us over the edge. Leave it to them to do that.
I mentioned it Wednesday. Kershaw has not been very good in his 2 outings against the Boston Red Sox, but I could definitely see tomorrow being a 1-0. The Red Sox being down 1-0 like in the 7th, and then wind up losing a 3-1 game or 3-2, something like that. So I hope it doesn't happen, but I am on board with what you guys said. I think if they do not win these next 2 games, they are sellers. And if they get crushed tomorrow, regardless of Sunday's victory, I think they're sellers as well. I think don't be surprised too. I'm going to put it out there. Bregman could be available in a trade too.
Yep.
He's the next guy that's making a ton of money after Devers. And I would not be surprised if he moves as well, because a team would want to acquire him for the balance of that $20 million. Because don't forget, the other 20, whether they work it out on a deal or not with the Red Sox, that doesn't mature for like another 10 years. 20 was now, 20 is later. So another team could acquire him for cheaper than you think. So at any rate, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode. I'd like to thank Thayer and Nick for being on with me tonight. Please go to our digital product at redsoxdigest.com. Sign up. The subscriptions are free and the rants are free as well. Have a good night, everybody. We will probably see you on Sunday, and then we'll figure out what the week is going to go on next week. We'll let you know on Twitter. There might be a surprise episode if the Red Sox make some sort of deal, on some of those days leading up to the deadline. In any event, have a great night, and we'll talk to you later.